Speaking of weird ones, is it Schaub time?
Oh, I guess it is. Brendan has himself in another pickle. He's always got himself in a jam. And this time, for once, Brendan is on the right side of a lawsuit. It seems. Podcast Cringe did a video setting this up pretty well. I wasn't aware of this lawsuit, but I guess basically, former UFC fighters, are in for a nice little payday. So Podcast Cringe has the clip of Brendan talking about it, and this is Brendan kind of dunking on Renato. Is it Renato Moicano? I heard what's his name there? Ariel Helwani called him Renato. I think he pronounced it, but it's spelled Renato Moicano.
I think you should pronounce it Renato. That's fun.
Renato Moicano. So they're talking about him. He did not accept money in this lawsuit. And Podcast Cringe has the original clip of Brendan talking about this, and he also does a good job setting it up. So shout out to Podcast Cringe, and take it away.
All right. So I'm sure I don't know how much money you're getting.
Give me my money. Give me my money. I got no ties to the UFC.
Yeah.
Give me my goddamn money. I already put a deposit down on a ZR1. Get the out of here. Moicano, here's the thing that's sad about this.
So it's safe for the audio listeners.
Yeah. So what Chin brought up says Renato Moicano turns down $200K, which I fought longer than him. $200K settlement check in a bizarre display of UFC solidarity. This is not what free market is about, he says, his decision. Here's the thing, Moicano. That money is getting allocated no matter what, buddy. No matter what.
This is, by the way, I just love the idea of a guy who lost, I believe, over $1 million in that scam he was a victim of. And I'm not shitting on Brendan for that. Like, Brendan was a victim. I think Theo lost a bunch of money as well. You remember what I think we talked about it.
Yeah.
There's some podcast network that scammed all these people out of a shit ton of money. And Brendan's like, you fucking idiot. It's like, well, maybe he just doesn't want to be involved for his own personal reasons. Like, this is where Brendan is a shit. And it's why I couldn't even continue with the bit of me being a Schaub fan anymore, because he just made me cringe so much, where it's like, he goes after, he looks for sympathy with the trolling that he receives. He's like, oh, all these haters, these losers that come after me, they don't have anything better to do. All they do is hate. But listen to the glee in his voice when he gets to shit on someone and call them dumb. He's like, oh, this idiot not taking the money. What a fucking moron. Brendan loves it. It's so disingenuous to be like, ha ha. And then when people come after you, be like, I don't understand how you can make fun of someone like that. I have a family. What's wrong with you? You're sick.
You being a company man and not taking it doesn't give you an inch of good grace with the UFC. This does not matter. There's guys that are more famous than you that are fighting right now that are taking their settlement. The UFC does not give a. The UFC made out in spades. They got off so easily. It's so dumb not to take the money. It's so fucking dumb. It makes no sense. I'm not his friend. If I could just take him to the side and explain to him how.
Yeah, that's what I got to tell you. I bought a house and I'm going through that process. The whole time I was thinking, God, I wish a guy like Brendan Schaub would just take me aside and tell me how to work out these finances. And, how much do I pay up front? Is it better to save money and hold it in a savings account and just pay my mortgage every month? Or should I put a solid down payment? Brendan, what are your thoughts on this? The idea that he's like, I just wish I could give this guy financial advice. I wish he would just listen to a mind like mine. Like, it's so delusional. And we'll talk about this with Brendan a lot because we have other clips to get to with him. But the delusion of making himself the alpha on this show just because he can beat people with his fists was so misguided. And I wish I could have just taken Brendan aside 10 years ago and said, hey, Brendan, you're kind of a lovable oaf is the persona you give off. You're a guy who could rip anyone's head off, but it's actually funnier, and the dynamic of that is more interesting if you make yourself the punching bag. It's actually much more interesting to see a guy that could beat any of us up taking shit from us. That would be interesting. But to frame yourself as the genius of the show and be the guy that's just like, oh man, I really wish I could take him aside and talk some sense into him, is so delusional from Brendan. And it's why he's extraordinarily unlikable. And by the way, we're getting to, if you don't quite understand what Brendan's talking about, Podcast Cringe will set it up at the end of this clip.
Yeah, you don't want to take financial advice from a guy who just put a down payment on a car before he's gotten the check. That is not good finance.
Or a guy that lost millions in a fucking podcast scheme, you know, and is involved in another lawsuit where some of the dealings are shady. Maybe that's not a guy you should take a bunch of financial advice from.
Hey, I hear I'm getting money. Quick, buy a Maserati. Like, first thing you do, what?
Yeah.
As kids, like, buddy, you can take this money and invest it for your children. And the UFC's not going to be a bad matchup. They literally don't care. I'm probably the one guy who's going to stop you dead in his tracks. Send me my goddamn money. I don't give a fuck. Yeah, he's just uneducated about the whole situation.
This all has to do
so
with
Podcast Cringe has a cavalcade of clips of Brendan being like, yeah, this guy's a fucking moron. He's uneducated. He's stupid. I can't believe he's doing this. And then we'll see how Brendan reacts when the guy responds eventually. But
the recent
here's the end of podcast.
Class action antitrust lawsuit that Brendan was part of by default, which accused the UFC of using monopolistic practices to suppress athlete pay by using exclusive contracts and coercion. The UFC ended up settling for $375 million in October last year, and it was officially approved by the court in February of this year. This whole thing had been going on for over a decade, but the final settlement was split between fighters from December 2010 through June 2017, which is why Brendan Schaub was included, and of course Moicano as well. Except Moicano rejected his $200K portion of the payment because, in his own opinion, it just didn't feel right.
So Moicano, for whatever reason, didn't take the money. Maybe he's independently wealthy. Maybe he wanted to keep a good relationship with UFC. I don't know enough about it to know why he did that. But I will say, you could listen to him explain it for 40 minutes on Ariel Helwani's show. And they talk 40 minutes, like, Helwani brings up Brendan's name a couple times, but Moicano doesn't really react to it. And then at the end, just says, by the way, you've been bringing up Schaub criticizing me. I have a thought on that before we go here, if you wouldn't mind. So this is like 40 plus minutes into the interview. He just drops this as he walks out.
And fuck everyone else. Last thing that I want to say is sometimes when I'm doing the Show Me the Mind podcast, I cannot articulate like that. I cannot say the things that I believe on because it's a 1 hour show and I have to be funny. You know, I have to be funny. I want to be funny.
I like this. By the way, this guy, this is how Brendan's comedy too. And I think it's how he really thinks. Where Brendan looks at someone that knows multiple languages and like they have an accent so they don't grasp this language perfectly. And Brendan's like, he's dumb. Like that's how Brendan keeps talking about it. By the way, we'll hear him go like, yeah, there's probably just like a language barrier or something. Like he looks down at this guy because he doesn't speak English as well as I guess Brendan does, which is debatable. But like Brendan doesn't look and like, oh, maybe this guy's a lot smarter than me just based on the fact that he knows multiple languages, you know?
On the language and so that's why I can understand why the people clip and they say, hey, this guy is dumb, you know? And if you think yourself as dumb, think the people that watch the Brendan Schaub show on YouTube, the comedian, the special. That's fucking terrible.
I tell you, okay, I understood that perfectly and he nailed the delivery. If you think I'm dumb, think of the people that watch Brendan Schaub's show on YouTube.
He tries to be funny, and he was. Congratulations.
Then that shit, brother. And I don't even speak English, and I can be funnier than you, my brother.
Gosh. Papa catches a stray. Oh dear. Oh dear.
Thank you so much, Ariel.
You could tell Ariel was really beaten up that Brendan caught a stray there. He didn't like it. So just on his way out, like he does 40 minutes explaining why he didn't take the money. And he's like, by the way, I've heard this guy call me dumb over and over again, and I'd like to correct the record on that. Seems fair to me, right? Like someone's talking about you on a platform that has a lot of followers. Seems natural to respond. I didn't think he said anything too inflammatory. He's like, oh, Brendan, you think I'm dumb? Which, by the way, Brendan called him over and over again. We heard him say that. Listen to how Brendan responds like a little bitch, where he's like, I can't believe you went after me like that. Like, Brendan's in shock that he talked all this shit about the guy and that it solicited a response.
It's just college stuff.
Speaking of college stuff, did you see finally Moicano respond to me criticizing him not taking the
Moicano?
Moicano.
I did not see that.
He responded to me criticizing him for not taking the money. Now, let me be very upfront here. Him not taking the money helps me out. So at the end of the day, I don't give a flying fuck.
Yeah,
we're about to hear how little of a fuck Brendan gives. By the way, on the I don't know 15-minute diatribe he goes on about this fucking guy. We're gonna see how little he cares. This is Brendan. You're making a mistake when you do that. When you talk about Reddit and the trolls and YouTube comments and channels like Unique, the guy you're suing, by the way. Still, I think it's still happening. It's been dragged out for years. When you talk about these things and go, I don't give a fuck. It's so transparent that it's actually like gross to watch. It used to be mockable, and now it's like uncomfortable to watch you pretend you don't care about it. Like, no one's buying it, Brendan. Drop that shtick because you very clearly care about it, as we're about to see.
He puts more money in my pocket, Don Cerrone's pocket, some other fighters that could probably use it. But here's my thing, Bubba, and I'm a fan of Moicano. And I expect a rebuttal. Whenever you criticize a fighter, we're fighters.
Well, I think you went hard in the press. I think what he
hold on, let me finish. Yeah. So whenever you
again, I know I keep bringing this up. It's amazing to me. I didn't realize it till far too late into covering Brendan Schaub. I'm stunned. Brendan is the alpha in his relationship on the podcast with Callen. I couldn't, once I realized that, I was like, holy shit, that's all their problems. The idea that Brendan is the guy that's like, hey, shut up, little man. No, Bryan should be the one talking. And you should be the lovable oaf that makes funnies every once in a while, that makes oopsie daisies and says things wrong, and people mock you for it. That should be the dynamic of that show, and they have it so backwards, as you just heard there, where he's like, hey, the boss is talking, Bryan.
That's unbelievable.
A lot of fighter. I expect a response. They're fighters. You call me out. If you're just a general fan or hater, I don't respond. If we're from the same alumni or you're professional,
I would hope not. If just a guy on Reddit is like, I don't agree with Brendan, I would hope Brendan is at the point in his career where he's not like, Schaub's Trug said on Reddit that he doesn't agree with me about this lawsuit. I've got news for you, buddy. Like, I would hope Brendan's not doing that. But you called this guy out. Why are you acting like you're now responding to him? Brendan, we saw there, and on multiple occasions goes, this guy's a fucking idiot. I can't believe this dummy isn't taking the money. Oh, no speaky English, Renato? Maybe you understand dinero. Moolah, Renato. Money. Green, yes? You understand? This many pesos. Yes. We saw him doing that, and then he's like, I mean, I guess I got to respond to this fucking guy now. Like, begrudgingly.
Got my attention, and because I'm not going to come off as a bully there. Like with Nate Diaz, that's not bullying. He called me out. We're from the same fraternity. We can both fight. So if we fight, we both have a set of skills and we both agree to it. That's different than if you're just some schmuck at the bar. That's not cool. If a professional beats up a average Joe, that's bullying, and that's not the way to do things. But if you're from the same fraternity, the UFC fraternity, well, now we can both play in this game. But here's the thing with
I'll talk about another mistake. An absolute mistake that Brendan has made over and over again for the last 10 years. This idea that if you aren't a UFC fighter, you aren't allowed to criticize Brendan Schaub. Well, okay, I guess. Live by that code if you want. You're never going to make it in podcasting. The idea that, like, a civilian, as people like Brendan would call us, can't make jokes about you or comment on what you're doing is so misguided for a guy who's sticking a camera and a microphone in his face every day.
Moicano is, if you're going to start a beef, if you're going to go back and forth, buddy, you can't wait. Hold on.
Start a beef. Start a beef. We heard Brendan first say, Casey, did I imagine those, or did you also hear the clips where he's like, "Oh, dummy, no speaky English? How about money?" I remember Brendan was calling him a poor broke bitch 5 minutes ago.
Brendan had his hand so deep in this guy's pocket.
I don't know. Maybe it's a language barrier or something. But I wish I could just take this moron aside and explain to him the concept of money. And now Brendan's like, "This is kind of coming out of nowhere. I guess he wants to start a beef with me." Okay.
These foreigners, Mike, I'm telling you, we got to get them out of our country.
I guess.
You can't wait 10 days to respond. I don't know if it's a language barrier. I don't know if it's translation thing where they have to figure out what
How fucking insulting. This guy just owned you, by the way. This guy in perfect English said, I mean, he has an accent, I guess, but in perfect English, he was like, "You think I'm dumb? Look at the people that watch Schaub's podcast." And Brendan's like, "There must be a language barrier or something. I don't know what's going on here."
What if Brendan just right there realizes he's hard to understand? Like, maybe he needed 10 days. Maybe I'm hard to understand. Maybe there's a language barrier from me, not him.
He waited 10 days because that's when he was being asked about it by Ariel Helwani. Like, he was just on a podcast, so he addressed it. And by the way, Brendan's going to make it seem like he came on this. I found the clip, I assure you. It's over 40 minutes into a 43-minute podcast or something. So right at the end on his way, I think even in the clip we played, you hear him go, "All right, brother, see you later," whatever the fuck. Like, it's right at the end. He did not go on this podcast to trash Brendan Schaub.
I like the idea that Brendan made the initial complaint, and then like linguists from around the world gather and they meet and they're like,
"What is he saying? What is this? What
10 days
what is
later,
this man saying?"
I finally respond. We finally have gotten
it's inscrutable, but I think it's about Brendan Schaub, and it seems like, yes, the more I examine it, it looks like an insult of some kind that this man is giving. It's hard to decipher.
I said, either way, your handlers, you can't get back to me after 10 days. I've moved
handlers. On. Look at how much he's diminishing this man. He's like, I don't know, whoever controls the words you say, whoever writes that. Brendan's like, when Brendan heard that, it was like he was looking at cave drawings where he's like, I don't know, there must be a hidden meaning behind it, but I'm not really sure.
I mean, how long are your thoughts on other people's money supposed to last? I mean, 10 days seems like a long time, you know.
But
so
it's like, maybe this guy talked about it in his podcast. I don't know how big Moicano's podcast is, but like maybe he said it before and it didn't get Brendan's attention. He happened to say it on a place that got his attention. And as usual, Brendan is responding to the wrong thing. He's responding to the amount of days it took him to respond and the platform he's doing it on, rather than what the man said.
He emphasizes the wrong syllable.
Yes.
When someone and fans were hitting me up like, "Oh, Moicano's taking shots," I went, "What? Who? About what?"
Who? The guy you were talking about. Who?
Where am I?
The guy you started the conversation about, you know? That would be
CT,
like if fucking, I don't know, Hannah Berner responded to me. And I was like, I don't even know who that is. What do you mean? What? Why? Just because I did a 10-minute segment calling her a shitty person? Now I'm supposed to respond to that like I know who she is? I don't think so.
Brain injuries are a great excuse for not remembering things, man.
He uses that. Don't worry.
I use weed. I'm switching up. I got hit in the head. Mike, that's why I forgot to do things.
Dude, this is 10 years. It's like with Nate Diaz. It took him several days to respond, and all he said was, "You'd be surprised." Well, first of all, I've already moved on in my life, dude. And second of all,
what?
That's not original.
Who gives a and that's so great. The idea of talking shit about someone, and then when they respond going, "I'm already over that. I'm not even thinking about that anymore." I don't care if you're thinking about it. You said it, and I'm responding to it. Who cares if you're still obsessed with it or not?
Carl and Shuli's response should be, "Bro, we moved on. Like, what are you doing?
We're not even talking about you anymore, man. Yeah, what do you mean?
I mean, what are we here for?"
So weak. You're making a reference from fucking 12 years ago.
Nope.
And your team, your handlers, that's what
days.
you got. And with McConnell, right? And this is prototypical chat GPT. How do I talk shit to Brendan Schaub? Here it is. He's dumb. He's a meathead.
No. You said Moicano was dumb. Remember? Moicano actually didn't say that. He called your fans dumb, which is a little funnier.
Now I'm stuck on the guy who's going to ChatGPT looking for how to make fun of Brendan Schaub. Who
by
is
the
that
way,
guy?
You know why ChatGPT is saying that, Brendan? Because they're all applicable. they all hit the nail directly on the head when they're referring to you.
Imagine knowing, you just go to ChatGPT and it'll print out like 100 ways to make fun of me. Imagine knowing that. That's
I just love that. Oh, what did he say? I'm dumb? You called him dumb, you jackass.
He's bad at podcasting. He was a bad fighter. If I post a truck, did you flip it? The standard shit, right?
He's got stupid hair now. Anyone mention that?
Brendan's just naming other things that he thinks about himself. Oh, he's a bad husband and father. He puts too much pressure on his kid to be a baseball legend that'll probably never live up to. It's like, what? I don't think he said any of that, Brendan. What are you talking about?
His muscles are too big. He can't shoot a good jump shot anymore.
I guess.
That's
Right? The standard shit. None of it's original. So his team put in ChatGPT. How do I talk shit to Brendan Schaub? Again, he's in Brazil, so I don't know. Maybe it's a translation issue.
Yeah.
Brendan, stop belittling the people that make fun of you. They're all better at it than you are. It's not a wise strategy.
Callen, yeah, is hilarious. That's like a wife with a glass of wine in her hand that's sick of her husband. Just whatever.
Yeah. Whatever gets this to stop. Oh, the ladies at the office are being mean to you again? Okay.
If you think yourself as dumb, I never said I was dumb. I might call myself an idiot, but compared to him, I'm Elon Musk.
Well, he's not talking to you about that.
Think about my fans, which is, if you're listening to me, that means I'm dumb and he's dumb and the fans are dumb, right? And then he goes, Brendan Schaub's show on YouTube. Oh, it's a podcast, mainly audio. We do YouTube just for the fuck of it.
So
the comedy special.
Hold on. He's like Alex Berenson arguing with Dave Smith. I think you're thinking of the wrong details. But by the way, we do YouTube just for the fuck of it. So monetization is off, right? I imagine.
It's on.
No, there's no chance. You don't sell the ads. Like on YouTube, you cut the ads out, right? Because it's for fun. It's for a lot of fun. And by the way, we'll see how much fun Brendan is having later with posting the show. But like, why are you getting hung up on this? He just said like, oh, the people that watch Brendan Schaub show. He wasn't thinking of the analytics. He didn't. Moicano never said like the show that is mostly viewed on YouTube. They probably have no audio listeners. It was just a throwaway thing he did as he was leaving a podcast. Why are you getting obsessed with that part? Hey, we have a lot more audio listeners. Okay, man. No one said you didn't. It's all good.
Hold on. And the comedy special. Oh, you're talking about from 5 years ago?
Yeah.
It's just like, dude.
Gringo Poppy was.
He is
3 years ago, right?
He's separating himself from that. No, 30 years ago. Dog years, 200 years ago.
By the way, speaking of dog years, we might have to go back to the Moicano clip. Did he say anything about the comedy special?
He said nothing about No, but this is what ChatGPT tells you to make fun of Brendan Schaub about.
But Brendan's like, so Gringo Poppy sucked. It's like, hey, no one said that, man. I mean, a lot of people have said it, but like right now, no one's saying it. Oh, so you think I was a terrible comic and it was bad of me to take a Showtime deal as early as I did? Oh, so that's what you're saying, huh? That I propped myself up as a real comedian, even though I put no real effort into it, huh? Is that what you're saying? It's like, easy, big fella. No one said any of this. What are you talking about?
And using the 5-year thing, that kind of makes his point. You know that one comedy special I did a decade ago? Yeah.
It wasn't 5 years ago even, but yeah, fine. The most recent comedy special you put out, people are allowed to make fun of that. It's the most recent thing you've done. So, yeah, what's the big deal? 5 years ago it was bad. That's using the 5 years ago thing. I think people get confused why we do that. Like you might say, like, oh, that tweet is from 10 years ago. Like it was people joked like that back then, and now it's been deemed unacceptable. Saying 5 years ago is like everyone loved Gringo Poppy when it came out. You'd be surprised. It was so of the time. It was an amazing special. My Showtime special. It was fantastic. And then Gringo Poppy followed it up so nicely. But that's not what happened 5 years ago, Brendan, unfortunately. People were making fun of it then. They're making fun of it now. I don't know why you're putting this time capsule on it.
If you had to put everything on it, your house and everything, do we get another Brendan Schaub comedy special in this lifetime of ours?
God.
It might be a nice house. New roof, probably.
I'm going to say yes.
Oh, amazing. I can't wait.
Win.
Win.
I think he's young enough. I think he makes a comeback to stand up at some point, which will, of course, result in him filming a special and going around and being like, this time I was ready to shoot a special. And I bet it'll be really good.
Well, all those people hanging on with cancer, whatever. Now you have something to live for, people.
Yeah.
Now it's something to hang on to.
Yeah, that's true.
Again, if you were going to come with this rebuttal, you got to do it at least within 24 hours. Otherwise, I'm out, bud. I'm not going to play your game.
Good. So then you're not responding to this. So we're not listening you respond to it.
Not playing the game, Mike.
He's like, hey, man, if you respond to it when you did, I'll never respond, which I'm not doing right now.
This is a non-response response.
I'm not bothered, and I'm not even responding to it. Those are the two things that are evident if you watch this clip of Brendan.
Gonna wait a fucking week, 10 days, however long this took to come up with this rebuttal. It has to be good. Then I'm like, all right, they took their time. They probably got some writers. Then I'm in. But when it's this, and listen, I like Moicano. Him not taking the money helps me out, helps the other fighters out. You're putting more money in my pocket. And Moicano, I hate to tell you, 99.9% of UFC fighters, alumni, current fighters, staff, anybody who works at the UFC is on my side. You're not going to find many fighters.
I don't even get. Maybe I just don't know who gives a shit? Obviously, Moicano is like, I don't need that money, so I'm turning it down. It's not my business. Who gives a fuck?
Yeah.
Why is Brendan so invested in this?
Because he has a buying opportunity for Moicano. He could live in this place like 3 nights a year. It's a timeshare.
I wish you could just take him aside, talk some sense into him.
Everyone thinks it's fucking stupid what you're doing. Now, again, I don't know Moicano, and I don't know how far the dollar goes in Brazil. Maybe he's set. Maybe he comes from family money.
Whatever it's bought him, it's paid off because now I know this guy is like the one guy not taking money.
I'm sure I could buy the village that Moicano comes from, but like the way he just looks down on anyone from another country is wild to me.
Mm-hmm. Well, they need writers and ChatGPT to figure. I mean, these people are uncivilized, Mike.
I like that he thought we kind of breezed by that. The fact that he thought Moicano must have had writers.
Yes.
For that zinger that he gave Brendan.
I think he was going to be a lawyer and dropped out of that to pursue fighting. So he's a smart dude.
Guy, yeah.
He's a very smart guy. And he's entertaining.
Well, remember you said he was dumb before? Mm-hmm. Maybe if he's such a smart guy, which you're trying to backpedal now, maybe he knows what he's doing. Maybe he doesn't need that $200,000. I doubt Moicano turned down the $200,000 and then was like, oh, wait, that has the value of money? Fuck. Damn it! So I could spend it places? I didn't realize that.
I think Schaub just likes being around lawyers. He just loves lawyers.
Brendan, why didn't you pull me aside and explain to me that I could use that money to buy goods and services?
Great.
And here's the other thing. If you're going to respond and then make fun of me, how no one watches my show, or I can't podcast, can't do this stuff, blah, blah, blah.
He didn't say any of that. He didn't say no one watched it. He said, you think I'm dumb? Look at the people that watch Brendan Schaub's show. That's all he said. You can take that for what it is. Obviously, that means something to you because you've interpreted it as you're a terrible podcaster and nobody watches your show. Like, you've said all these things, Brendan. He didn't.
They're inside voices, Brendan. Those are inside voices.
But to get your message out, you have to go on another man's show to reach me. I sit down over there in a chair for the last fucking 12 years and get my message out. And you saw it. It got to you. You have to call another grown man who's built their platform, and Nir Hawani has a big platform, just to reach me, but I do it
My
from
guess
here.
is Moicano does a show talking about the UFC. This is an interesting story in that world. My guess is he said, hey, you want to come on the podcast, address some of this stuff? Or Moicano is being talked about in that circle a great deal. And he said, hey, Ariel, mind if I come on your podcast, clear this up? What? That's bad? Like, also, Brendan doesn't realize he's shitting on every guest he's ever had. Like, the idea that it's a bad thing to go on other people's podcasts is silly when you moved to Austin so you could get more guests on your dumb podcast, you fucking idiot. Sorry, Casey, what were you saying?
No, we heard Moicano say, like, my podcast where I try to be funny. Like, Moicano has a podcast. Just because Brendan doesn't listen to it.
That's Brendan's point. That's Brendan's saying, your podcast is so worthless. You had to go on another man's podcast to get your point to me. And it's like, it's not really what happened. And it worked, by the way. You're reacting to it.
Brendan, I would never, ever see you if I didn't see you on another man's podcast. Don't be shitting on other men's podcasts. You would never be seen.
Well, right. Is the Schaub show, the show he does alone, is that as popular as the Golden Hour or Fighter and the Kid, the podcast he does with other men? Mm-hmm. Is the reason that we know Brendan Schaub because he was on the Joe Rogan Experience, another man's podcast? So shut the fuck up, you moron. Stop shitting on the what butters your bread, you idiot.
Yeah, you get naked with another man and wrestle for us. I mean, come on, man. what are you?
And you're making fun of me.
Wait, it might have been that he let it go and then Ariel asked him about it.
No.
I mean, that's true. I guess he did bring it up at the end, but like, he's responding to something you said, Brendan.
The dumb one is the last one.
The gall of this man to respond. All right, so Brendan's saying, you think I'm the dumb one. You're the dumb one, which was his original accusation. Brendan's like, you've driven me to this. Now I'm going to call you dumb. It's like, no, that's how it started. Remember, Brendan?
That's current.
But wasn't he on Ariel when he said that?
Correct, Brian. That's the point. Yeah. Hold on. Yeah.
No, but did he go on?
Hold on. Yeah.
No, but he didn't go on.
Brian doesn't get it. Let me do this.
He
went on Ariel to address this.
You see how he talks to Callen?
Hey-o.
That's wild. The idea that that's their dynamic, that Brendan is the smart one in that grouping. That's nuts. That's the setup of their podcast. That Brendan is like the intellectual and Brian's the dope that he goofs on.
Yeah, he broke the third wall to be like, hey, everyone, isn't this Brian guy silly?
Brian doesn't get it. Brian just doesn't get it, guys. Look how stupid Brian is. When, by the way, Callen's trying to talk sense into him, he's like, isn't he kind of just responding to something you said? And he's like, you guys believe this fucking moron?
Yeah, he does this thing, Mike, where he like makes his hand like a phone, and then he's like answering it, like, "What's that, crowd? Yeah, Brian's an idiot." Like
Earth to Brian.
It's a pantomime thing.
Yeah,
it's fun. I'm sure he had some writers' fuss.
Only that,
he doesn't have a fight
go
coming
on
up.
There for other things.
He doesn't have a fight coming up.
Right. Huh.
So if you're going to go on shows, it's usually because you have something to promote, correct? A fight, maybe really
or a
some
topic
brand
that people are really interested in that you want to address. Happens all the time. Not crazy.
Callen wants to be anywhere else but here right now.
I gotta say, I was not on that. I see videos where people are like, Brian seems like he hates Schaub, and Brian's been extraordinarily loyal to Brendan. You know what I mean? Like, and Brendan was disloyal to Brian at first, and then became loyal when he realized he needed him. But like, Brian's been very loyal to Brendan. I do think he's a good friend. I don't know how desperate he is to end that podcast, but like, when you find clips like I had to for this, you do start I get what they're saying when they're like, boy, Brian seems checked out of this fucking thing.
Yeah, Brian seems like a guy at the end of a Scientology contract. Like, I put in my billion years, I helped the church.
I try not to therapize these guys too much, but there is something going on where Brian doesn't seem fully invested.
Strangeline 7 says, can't wait to use that phone thing in all of my arguments. I'm going to do the same thing. Anytime anyone makes a point that you don't like, you just answer a fake call from a group of people that think they're ridiculous.
I'll go. Brendan should add a little tag. Oh, Brian, the Brain Store called. They've got some in stock for you, buddy. Really nailed him there.
Another special's coming with ego like that, Mike. You're 100% right.
There's some brand deal.
Yeah.
No, he went on another grown man show to get the message out because he can't do it from here. And
would you rather be on a child show, another grown man show? Should he be on the Rizzlers show? going, Riz, I got to tell you something about this Brendan Schaub guy. You know, it's enough is enough here.
He is like minimizing it in a weird way. Like, why would you go on another man's show and respond to me trying to talk you out of taking $200,000? That just seems silly.
Which, by the way, like, I don't know how big Moicano is in the fight world, but like, say a smaller fighter or a comic or whatever that's friends with Brendan was like, hey, I'm getting attacked by this guy. Like, you know, people have me totally misrepresented on this story. Would you mind if I come on the Fighter and the Kid to talk about it? You're telling me Brendan would say to his friend, like, you need to come on another man's show to do that? You freak.
Gay.
Like, that's just seems like a kind of a natural thing to do. I don't know.
And he's trying podcasts, and everyone their mom is, right? Weird. Who's the first UFC fighter to do a podcast? Do you know who it is?
It was
Post
you,
Gracie.
Brendan.
Right? So
was
going to launch
it not Brendan?
No,
It'd be great if it wasn't Brendan.
a podcast. You're gonna call it "Show Me the Money," and then when they show you the money, you turned it down. Oh, but I'm the dumb one.
Oh, what is he, Dice?
But I'm the dumb.
Dice.
Oh
You
my
are the
God.
dumb one.
The cruel irony of Moicano hosting a show called "Show Me the Money." I think maybe he means for prize fighting, not litigation. But, you know, I don't think he meant "show me the money" or "I'll take you to court." I don't think that was the naming process of the show. But
I think he's just he loves Schaub loves lawyers. That's what I've learned today. Just loves being
really
around
does.
them, loves talking about.
well, it's a weird thing where like Brendan couldn't beat all of us up, and by us I mean PF Chang's. Shout out to the homeless cats, people in comedy who have made fun of him. People in the YouTube chat, other fighters that have mocked him, Dana White. Brendan couldn't fight all of us. So what he did is like, next best thing, I'll take Unique to court. And that'll set a precedent and people won't mess with me anymore. And boy, has it been nothing but missteps the entire, just stepping on landmines every time he tried to sidestep another one.
Go to blindmike.net for everything Blind Mike. Look at me. I did it. Kragers did it.